is in the house. Maybe your connection's weak. Who knows? All right, we're at 3,000 already. Wow, that was quick. All right. So anyway, welcome to Sunday morning walk and talk. Second day in a row that we're back on the old format of walking the streets here where I live on the east end of Long Island. Yeah, it's sunny. It looks pretty. But I'll tell you what a difference today in terms of how cold it is compared to yesterday. Yesterday was nice. Oh, I see we just made a big drop here from 3,000 to 2,000. I guess people don't like sunniness. Ask me if I care. I started caring a lot less about those things, about the numbers, about a month ago. You just can't control anything about Facebook. The strangest, weirdest things happen every single day. And I came to the realization that if you complain about it, or that if you worry about it, you do nothing but give yourself anxiety, heart attacks, and all the other different things that you really just don't need in your life. So ultimately, I've just come to the terms that until the day comes that I talk into the phone and I only see myself, that's when I'll worry. And even then, I don't know if I will. But let's say a bunch of different things that need to be said today. First of all, I know this is going to sound a little crazy, but in the next 20 minutes, if you haven't already, well, I should say in the next hour, after I'm done here, if you haven't seen it already, you have to go see on DennisMichaelLynch.com. I don't know if we've posted it yet. Probably not. I think they're writing it up now. But Hillary Clinton made a video on Friday, I think. It's the first I've seen it. And I think this woman's going to try to run for president again. I swear to God. I think she's going to try to run for president again. I think she has it in her head that she can really win. I think she's going for third time. Yeah. She made a video calling out the Democrats, telling them to continue protesting. Yeah, that's nice. Continuing to flood town halls as they've been doing to the GOP. And just continuing to continue. And there's a few things I look at this. I tell you, there was a little bit of redemption on my end. Because the last couple of days with some of you have been, I'll use the word combative for the lack of a better term. You disagree with me. You think that I'm wrong in the president calling out fake news all the time. All right, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine. Some of you, the emails are great. Some of you tell me I'm completely full of myself and that I need to lay off the president. Okay. But I have said a million times that if you don't think far ahead, if you don't plan, I've talked about it in every single way. I've talked about it in football analogies. I've talked about it in baseball analogies. I've talked about it in business. I've talked about it in politics. And so I tout periodically that I've been right every single time. And so I've been hammered by some of you saying the fact that I've got such a big ego and I'm talking down. No, I'm not. I'm just restating what is the case. It's like me telling you yesterday was warm and the day before that was warmer and today's cold. I'm just stating the facts. I know I'm right. I know I'm right. Hillary Clinton and the Democrats are licking their chops right now. They are. And they're thinking 2018. They're thinking 2020. They're seeing things. The one thing you got to say about the Democrats, I'm telling you right now, you want me to get on here and just bash? You ain't gonna get it. The Democrats do one thing fantastic. They are great at messaging. It's why they own Hollywood. It's why they get the kids to join on and the millennials to join on. They're fantastic at messaging. And they send messages and you don't even know they're sending messages. You know, I use Hollywood in the TV shows. I defy you to sit through any single Hollywood movie, even an animated movie for the kids, and not find a political message with a liberal leaning tone stuck in. They're all there. Mary and I do it all the time. Even the show that we loved. What the hell is it? It's gonna be on. Well, I don't know if it's gonna be on tonight. It wasn't on last week or whatever the week for the Super Bowl. Homeland. We loved Homeland. They destroyed that thing going into political correctness. They destroyed it going into the left. But they send political messages all the time. And so Hillary is getting on camera, sounding all presidential and stuff, talking about leadership and coming together and thanking people. I don't know how many times she's going to thank people. Thanking people and the importance of protesting and standing together as one and building and forging forward. All these different words that are campaign slogans, man. And I'm listening to this and I'm saying, you know, she sat back after she cried her eyes out and she looked at the scorecard and she said, okay, I beat this guy in the popular vote, but I lost to him in some cases by pretty close margins in the states that I should have otherwise won. I should have campaigned harder there. I should have done this. I could have done that. Blah, 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 blah. Then she goes over and she looks at Trump's scorecard. She sees a bunch of executive orders, the biggest one that got turned down. She likes the way the optics there look and sound. And then she says, you know, he's going to keep on this fight with the media. And every time he does that, the media is going to come back fighting on him harder. And so she knew she had the media in her corner before he won the election, but it wasn't enough. People were still smart enough to come out and vote. But I told you yesterday that Trump will be victim to the same thing Obama was, is that there will be no more phenomenon. There will be no more, wow, this is new, this is a movement or whatever. It will just be business as usual. He'll be the president. He won't be out campaigning as much, just impossible to do so. And she's going to try to take advantage of that. And she's banking on the fact that he is not going to be able to focus 100% on making America great again. I know this. Out of anything I've ever gotten right before in my life, I am gonna, if I had money stacked up to place bets, and I could take all those things back that we've done before, and I could line them all up, and I put my money on the different bets, I would put the lion's share of my money on the bet that she is banking that he will not stay focused on making America great again. And she knows that automatically, just the second time around, he will lose votes just because people go on with their lives and the phenomenon is dead. I mean, look, you know, you'll say, you're wrong, DML, you're wrong, what are you doing? What am I doing? I'm telling you that the big truck's coming. I'm telling you to move to the side. You want me not to tell you the truck's coming? Okay, truck ain't coming. For the rest of you, the truck's coming. I have a reader. Her name is Sally. Sally sends me stuff every single day. She has been sending me stuff every single day for, I don't know, it feels like 72 years now. Love you, Sally. She sent me something the other day, and she said, DML, you know how much I love the president, you know how much I love you. She goes, but you know how much I demand the truth. So I'm reading this because periodically Sally gives me a doozy, you know? And she says, I've been looking at his Twitter account, and I don't see any tweets about veterans, Social Security. Now, I get the sense that this reader, Sally, is older. Just with the way that she writes and talks about things and what's near and dear to her heart. So she may have told me this, I may be forgetting it, but I think her husband served, And so I think Veterans Affairs and definitely Social Security, very, very important to her, because these are things she brings up all the time. So she listed all the things that weren't on the tweet. And she said, I expect you to come up with a scorecard of President Trump's tweets. I said, okay, it's actually not a bad idea. I'll take the half hour. So I went in this morning and I looked through all of his tweets and I did a scorecard. And I based that scorecard based on what he tweets about. So how many times did he tweet about Russia? How many times did he tweet about Mexico? How many times did he tweet about immigration? Boom. So I counted them. Now the problem is, a lot of times he blends tweets. So he'll say something like, fake news media strikes again. I did not have relationships with Russia. So because he used fake news in capital letters, I categorize that as fight with press versus putting it in the Russia bucket. If he was just totally focused on Russia, it went in the Russia bucket. So anyway, and maybe you disagree with me. Maybe they go in both buckets. Doesn't matter. If they go in both buckets, my point is still going to be made. So I go down between January 20 and today, this morning, and I do a scorecard of all the tweets. And Sally's right. Unless I missed something, and maybe I did, because the tweets after a while just start, there's so many of them, they just start to blend in. But I didn't see one tweet about veterans, or veteran suicide, or Veterans Affairs. I didn't see one tweet about E-Verify. I didn't see one tweet about Social Security. I didn't see one tweet, what was the other thing we had put on there? It was another big major issue. Oh, I can't remember them all. But I didn't see a single tweet about this. But there was a tweet about Arnold Schwarzenegger. There was a tweet about the DNC elections in sarcasm. And there was a whole bunch of tweets about a bunch of stuff. There were some very positive tweets. I classified them as Make America Great Again tweets. General statements, including Make America Great Again. If you put out Happy President's Day, I put that in Make America Great Again. But to Sally's point, and Sally was a donor to the Trump campaign. Sally is, she's one of those ladies who's got the Trump hats and the Trump this and the Trump that, but she's voicing a little bit of concern. She doesn't like the way that the tweet situation is. And in the last 24 hours, President Trump put out 2 tweets about the DNC elections, because this guy Perez, he was the former labor secretary under Obama, and he was a staunch supporter of Hillary Clinton in 2016. And he is pretty much, I guess you could categorize him easily, without any hesitation, as part of the DC Democrat establishment. He is sort of like a Mitch McConnell, if you will, in terms of you don't even blink an eye when you say, yeah, he's establishment. Whereas Perez beat this guy Ellison, who is very, 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 I don't know, how do you say it? I would say he's confrontational in the sense that he has a record that's sort of shady. People tie it back to Islamic this and Islamic that, what have you. But he was supported, Ellison, this representative from Minnesota, he was supported by Bernie Sanders. So you've got if you want to categorize Ellison as the sort of new wave Democrat, and then you've got the old establishment Perez. Well, the president put out 2 tweets. Number one tweet, and this is in the last 24 hours. Number one tweet was, hey, congratulations, Thomas Perez, on your victory. It's a great victory for the GOP. So it's very sarcastic. It was, sort of like a friendly shin kick, if you will, to Perez. Pretty much a fight, picking a fight, if you ask me. I don't think there was any reason for it, but I think you already get that point. Yeah, so Sally didn't think there was any reason for it either. And then Perez, of course, answered back, saying the fact that Ellison and Perez, because what Perez did as his first job as DNC chairman, Perez made a motion for Ellison to be the deputy chair. And of course that was approved. And so now you've got these guys sitting in the 1 and 2 slots. So Perez turns around and puts out a tweet that says, hey, you could call me Tom. And oh, by the way, we're going to be your greatest nightmare. Okay, so now the fight begins. So now Trump, this morning on Sunday, comes out and tweets that much like the election and the way that Bernie was rigged, the DNC election was rigged for Perez. And of course, and I haven't even read the headlines. I've been too busy doing other stuff this morning, getting articles ready or whatever. But I'm sure that you will have many outlets come out and say, President Trump says the DNC election is rigged without any proof of saying such. Well, you gonna call that fake news? I think that's real news. Make a claim like that, you don't have the evidence for it. And again, you gotta remember, when you're the president of the United States and you make a claim or you say something, you have a responsibility not only to America but to the entire world. You could move markets, you could move countries, you could move militaries, you could send fear, you could send joy through the world. You are the most powerful man, most powerful woman one day. You're the most powerful person in the world. What you say is going to be scrutinized at every single last moment, and rightfully so. You're the president. You're the man of the free world. And therefore, you have a responsibility that when you say something, those words are going to be held accountable. So you on the other end of my phone right now may not agree with me. You on the other end of the phone right now may want to eat those placebo pills, and all respect to you. If you've been a DML supporter, I had a guy yesterday, give me back my donation. Dink, send. That's it, you know. I stand for the truth. I stand for what is. I stand for making America great again. I think it may be the single best term that I have ever heard in the past 10 years. At the end of the day, I'm not a moron. I'm a very intelligent guy, and I'm going to say it whether you like it or not. I understand these things. I understand plotting and strategic movements. And I see what it is, the fact that Hillary's coming out of hibernation already and sitting down in front of a camera, all presidential and stuff, making big, huge presidential campaign-like sort of videos. I'm telling you, the writing's on the wall. The writing's on the wall. And so you should check out that video, because I think when you watch the video, aside from being prepared to puke all over yourself, because this woman is saying, yeah, continue to protest, and most of these protests aren't even protests, they're riots. The fact that she's even pushing for that sort of thing is ugly in itself. But try to look at the bigger picture. Don't always look at what's in front of you. Look at what's ahead of you. So much of the world does that. You'd be better off if you actually did it too. Stock market's based on not what's in front of you today. It's based on what's down the road. You know, everybody talks about how it is that these guys on Wall Street line their pockets. Yeah, some of them do it. Some of them do it dishonestly. But many of them do it because they study very hard on understanding charts and trends and what is going to happen. And they're very good forecasters because they understand how to read things. And that's why I usually get my stuff right, because I understand how to forecast and read these things. Wow, my battery's running dead. So anyway, that's that. I wanted to put that out. Now, on a side note, let's go into some good, positive Donald Trump stuff. You know, one of the things that the Republican Party really has to do, which it's been very poor at, is reaching out to the youngsters, reaching out to the millennials. At the end of the day, that's the future here. You know, we got to try to convert them over to believing in conservatism sooner than later. Because later, in the world we live in, is too late. So CPAC, I don't know if you've ever been there before or not, winds up today, I think. You know, today's kind of the junk stuff, but most of the stuff happens on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I'm not a fan of CPAC. I think that it's a very two-faced sort of place. I think it's run by the establishment, who basically just try to use it as another way of getting your name and into your claws and trying to stay strong. But if you look at them over the course of time, I mean, here they are this day praising President Trump. Last year, slamming him to no end. You know, we put out a video that was sent to us. I think it was